Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Russell Matthews here and I'm back with another Canadian benefit update for you. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll definitely know that there are tons and tons and tons of different requirements that you need to meet in order to be eligible for these applications. Some of which include the fact that you need to make 50% less income in order to claim it, or that you can't make over $38,000 this year without having to pay some money back. But there is one requirement that has confused more people than any other. And as a result, some people have chosen not to think about it as much just because it doesn't really make the most sense in their eyes. And that requirement is that you must be actively looking for work and accept that work if it's reasonable to do so. Now there's a couple problems with this clause because what is truly reasonable to do so, it kind of leaves it open for interpretation. But did you know that if you don't pay attention to this clause, there's a chance that the CRA could be taking all of your money back if they ever investigate whether or not you were actually looking for work. If they choose to do this, which they might, you could potentially be faced with a situation where you're having to pay back money even though you were looking for work. And that's because with the CRA, oftentimes you need proof. So today we're going to go over exactly how I recommend you document that you're looking for work in order to make sure that you can keep all of your money come tax time. You never know what the CRA could do to try to claw back money, so you're going to want to stay tuned for this one. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, hey, how's it going? It's nice to meet you. My name's Russell, and on this channel I post news and information that could affect Canadians and their money. The overall goal is to give Canadians as much high-quality, accurate information as quickly as possible in order to help them set themselves up to live a more wealthy future. If that's something that you'd be interested in, and let's face it, who doesn't want a more wealthy future, then you're going to want to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm coming out with updates just like this and on other topics every single day, so you're bound to find something that could seriously help you out. And while you're down there, make sure to click that like button and turn it blue, because just one click of that could bring this information to somebody who's desperately looking for it. Thanks so much for doing that, everyone. Now let's find out how we can make sure we get to keep our money for the long term. Just so we can have an exact idea of what this wording really is, let's take a look at the website so we can get into the nitty-gritty of what the words actually mean. So we're here on the CRA website, and the section that has this information is right in here in the eligibility criteria where it says who can apply. And the specific clause that we're looking for is a little further down, right about here. It says you were seeking work during the period, either as an employee or in self-employment. And it also says you have not turned down reasonable work during the 2-week period you're applying for. And these eligibility conditions make sense. I mean, you've got to be looking for work in order to get this money, right? Like, this is meant for people who are actively trying to look for work but are struggling and can't find it. It's not meant for somebody who just wants to sit around and collect money. No, that's not what this is about. And I know you, if you're watching this channel, that's not what you're looking for. And just to be extra safe for you, I decided to go to the website that has the actual Bill C4, the legal bill that went through Parliament and the Senate that actually brought us CRB. So what's said in this bill goes, and this is what we're looking for. It says right here, they sought work during the 2-week period, whether as an employee or in self-employment, and they did not place undue restrictions on their availability for work during the 2-week period, whether as an employee or in self-employment. So it essentially says the same thing as the CRA website, but on both of these different areas, it has some interesting information and things to think about that you may not have realized. It says that you can seek this work in employment or in self-employment. That means if you have your own business and you're working towards growing that business, you don't have to be applying for work and seeking it elsewhere. It makes sense that this is the case. Canada wants to stimulate the economy, and what stimulates the economy more than a successful small business starting up? So I'm glad they didn't limit it and stop entrepreneurs from pursuing their businesses. But no matter if you're looking for work or if you're trying to build your own self-employment business, the key thing you need to know is that you need proof. Now, nobody has a crystal ball and nobody knows exactly how the CRA is going to go about confirming with people come tax time whether or not they met all of these eligibility requirements. We don't know if they're going to be super strict or super lenient, so you would want to make sure that you're prepared in the case that they are super strict so that you won't have to give this money back. So what I'd recommend for you to do, and I know it's not the most fun, is to keep logs of what you're doing to satisfy this requirement. If you're unemployed and you're looking for work at jobs, you need to keep track of the jobs you're applying for. And if you're self-employed, you need to keep track of the work you're doing every single day to show that you're self-employed and you're working on your business. Now, there are a million different ways you could keep these logs. Some people like to use a big book of lined paper. You can write down every single day what you're doing and have that log there. But it's not as accurate and as precise and as easy to manipulate as something done on the computer, which is what I recommend. But I'm a big geek and I love spreadsheets. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today so that you can have your spreadsheet, have it in a place where you know where it is. And if the CRA comes knocking, you can say, hey, dude, I've got my information right here. You can't take my money. And you can make this spreadsheet on any software, on any device. You can do it on a computer or an iPad or a phone. And I think for most people, the most accessible thing is the phone. I mean, most people have cell phones these days that are capable of making quick little spreadsheets. So I'm going to show you how to keep track of everything just using your phone in a document format that most likely people are going to like to look at if they need to make sure that you're actually doing this sort of stuff. To do this, we're going to be using the app on your phone called Google Sheets. You can download it for free from the App Store, or you can use an app that you already have if you have Microsoft Excel. Okay, so here we are inside of Google Sheets. I'm going to click this plus button here to make a new spreadsheet. Right, so now we're inside of our spreadsheet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And to start any good spreadsheet, you need to name your columns. So let's go ahead and name these columns. Column A, we're going to title it Date, where we can put what day of the week or day of the month it is. Under B, I'm going to put Action Taken. Under C, I'll explain B as well in a little bit. Under C, I'm going to put Notes. And on D, I'm going to put Proof. We'll hit check mark and we're all good. And now, so under A, that's a little bit self-explanatory. We're going to put our date. So for our hypothetical situation where we would be filling out this log, under date, let's say, let's just do today. So that's Thursday, October, it's the 22nd. Okay, Thursday, October 22nd. And we can make this a little bit bigger just so we can see it more clearly and not have it cutting off our days. Now for action taken right here, this is where you'd put any information about what you did that day. If you're self-employed, you would want to put the actions that you took to try to get more business or try to find another client. Or if you're looking for employment, then you can write down maybe where you applied, what resumes you sent out, what you actively did to maybe network with people to try to get this job. So for our example, let's say we're in software development or something like that. We're going to say applied to the software development position at FinTech. That's what we're going to call our imaginary company. We'll hit check mark and we're all good. Okay, so now our next section here we can zoom in on, and that's going to take us to notes. So under notes, this is where I'd put any other general information of what you remember or anything else that happened in relation to this in particular application. So maybe we got a call back from the boss and they offered us an interview. So I can say scheduled interview with the boss. I mean, you could use a little bit more formal language for this in case the CRA ever sees it, but for our example, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we have our action taken, we have our date, we have our notes, and now for proof. If you want to go the extra mile, you could add additional information here or even additional photo evidence that you actually did this. The handy thing about Google Sheets is that you can actually import photos into it directly from this app. That's why I chose to do it on the phone. You can do this on the computer or any other device, but with your phone, you can go in here to proof, and you can hit this plus button up here, right here, and you can say image. I want to insert an image, and I'm going to put that image in the cell, and I can take it from my camera. So this is probably going to open up my camera. All right, yeah, I'll do it just once. And yeah, this is my desk. You can see what I've been working on. I'll flip it around. Hey, you can see me. Yeah. So in this example, if I were to take a picture of my Indeed application or the email going through, you could do that. Or if you're self-employed, you could show yourself doing some work. I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit handy that you could take a picture as additional proof if you want to go the extra mile. So just for fun, we're going to take a picture. Hey. And you'll see this will get inserted into our spreadsheet. So you can see it is really small there. When I zoom up, you can kind of see it a little bit in that corner. It's good that it's not big because we don't want it to mess up our spreadsheet, but it's just a place that you can put additional proof. And the overall idea is that you would do this every day to show that you were constantly looking for work throughout the entirety of every single period that you applied for your benefit with. Now, I'll reiterate, we don't know if the CRA is going to require documents like this from us, but it's better to be safe than to be sorry in things like this. You would hate to have a huge clawback where you were forced to pay back thousands and thousands of dollars without expecting it. I always say plan for the worst and hope for the best. In an ideal world, we wouldn't need this document, but in the case that we do, you're going to be sure glad you have it. Again, this isn't foolproof, and this isn't any recommended from the CRA information about how to keep this log. I'm just telling you what I would do in this situation. Maybe you guys think I'm just a huge geek right now who likes spreadsheets too much and just uses them for too many things in his daily life. But anyways, that's what I would do. And I hope you can find it helpful for your situation. It could definitely serve as some peace of mind if you were worried about this requirement and needing to show it and prove it. But I want to know what you have to say. Do you think this method is a little bit overkill and that we'd never use it and I'm just wasting my time? You're crazy, Russell? Or are you thinking, hey, okay, I should be doing this too. I'm going to start up tomorrow. Either way, tell me I'm crazy. Tell me it's an okay idea. Write it down in the comments there. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the like button and turn it blue just to show this information to people who could be looking for it. And of course, with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you found this method a little bit helpful and that you might use it in the future. And I'll see you next time.